Hey everybody, welcome to the Big Red Show. I'm Matt, and I just reviewed the Old Forester 1870 original batch. So I had this bottle of 1897 Old Forester bottled in bond, so I figured I'd just grab it and review it back to back. So Old Forester, one of my favorite bourbons of all time. The 86 proof is just sweet and delicious and light and easy to drink. Great in a julep, great in a cocktail, but great just neat by itself and very affordable. The 1870 and the 1897 came out last year. These are obviously Brown-Forman, so Woodford Reserve, Old Forester, Jack Daniels. Chris Morris is the guy responsible for putting these whiskeys together. Has done a great job with Woodford, especially Woodford Double Oaked, over the last few years. So 1870 was sweet up front, but kind of a oaky finish for my personal taste. Bottled in bond means it's got to be 4 years old, one distillery and one distilling season. There's 2 distilling seasons in a year, but at least 100 proof, at least 4 years old. Won't go into the Bottled in Bond Act, but let's taste this whiskey, nose this whiskey, and see what we think. Bottled in bonds have been experiencing a renaissance in recent years, mainly because the majority of bottled in bonds that you see on this shelf, especially from like Heaven Hill, are extremely affordable and at 100 proof and 4 years old by law. When they're $14.99 or below, they've been great values, and people have figured that out and started buying them. So, lo and behold, Jim Beam came out with a bottled in bond. Old Forester's got a bottled in bond. Of course, these bottled in bonds are not as cheap as the Heaven Hill whiskeys, so they're charging a premium for what they are. So let's see if it's worth it. So where the 1870 at 90 proof was much more reminiscent of just regular everyday Old Forester 86 proof, this nose is much more reminiscent, the 1897, of Woodford Reserve. To me, there's always an oak and leather component on the nose in Woodford that you don't get in Old Forester. It's just richer, deeper, and you certainly have that here with 1897. Let's taste it. Beautiful color. Look at that. Mm. Mm. There's kind of that really dark, it's almost like a green fruit flavor, like kumquats almost, weird. Mid-palate, the oak kicks in. The finish, unlike the 1870, doesn't get too oaky. The sweetness and the balance of this whiskey maintains throughout. Try it one more time. There it is. Once my palate acclimated, it got a lot sweeter. Reminded me of that Old Forester flavor profile that I really love. Yeah, this is just an extremely balanced whiskey. It's got a ton of flavor, but it's not overly sweet. It's not overly oaky. It's really not overly anything. It's just an absolute classic bottled in bond whiskey. So 100 proof, so great with a cocktail or an ice cube, but certainly of a quality that sippy neat is a great option for this. So Old Forester 1897. Between 1897 and 1870, I certainly would recommend the 1897, but they're both solid whiskeys. This just would happen to score a tick or two above the 1870. So to Chris Morris and his team at Brown-Forman, cheers as always.